Live. Here we are. We're live right now. Some cool stuff we're going to talk about. Some cool sports stuff. The Lakers are sold. Oh my gosh. The Los Angeles Lakers have been sold. Not only have they been sold, but the purchasers of the Los Angeles Lakers, Disney. Oh, I can't believe Disney just bought the Lakers, man. Crazy. So I got some news right here because I heard it earlier today and it intrigued me a lot. So I came home, I did a little bit of research, not just so much on like, why they were sold, but the reason why they were sold is amazing, man. I did a little bit of fact checking on this stuff, man. It's very interesting. So to start off, apparently, legit, the Los Angeles Lakers have been sold. The owners group, led by venture capitalist Josh Kushner and former Disney CEO Bob Iger, okay, agreed to buy the Los Angeles Lakers for a record-breaking $12.5 billion, right? So Disney got together with Josh Kushner. They came up with $12.5 billion and they bought the Lakers. Yeah, I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. So the Los Angeles Lakers have been sold for $12.5 billion. Los Angeles, right now, we're struggling big time with a lot of things: housing costs, taxes, gasoline, homeless crisis. But the Los Angeles Lakers just got sold for $12.5 billion. They purchased the franchise from Los Angeles Dodgers owner Mark Walter. This guy, Mark Walter. I didn't know anything about this guy, so I did a little bit of searching on this guy. Mark Walter. Los Angeles Lakers were sold. Oh, no, that's the other one. Let's see. Did I lose it already? Nah, here we go. An ownership led by venture capitalist Josh Kushner and Robert Lawson sold. Yep. Oh, undisclosed related. Okay, here you go. Billionaire investor and sports team owner Mark Walters. Yeah, that's right. So he's the guy who used to own it. Anyways, so the Lakers were sold. It was owned by this guy, Mark Walter. Apparently, this guy, he had a financial empire, and now it's under federal investigation. He's got, I guess, in Manhattan Beach, there's a SEC over $16 billion to $21 billion in undisclosed related party loans and private credit investments tied to insurance companies that he controlled. So that is the reason why the Lakers are sold, because this guy, Mark Walter, and I got a list of all of the other corporations that he's involved with, because this group was like it's a group called the TWG Global Group. And so it's an undisclosed related party loans, prosecutors examining whether two Delaware-based life insurers controlled by Walter, one was Delaware Life Insurance Company and the other one is Clear Spring Life and Annuity Company. They failed to properly disclose billions of dollars in private credit loans that ultimately backed Walter's own business ventures and holding companies in the TWG Global. All right, so I'm like, what the hell is that, right? What is TWG Global, right? So I was like, all right, so I got a list, right? I'm thinking, oh, it's just gonna be a couple things, right? And then this huge list of like organizations that are tied with this group just popped up. So here are a lot of these agencies, right? Financial service and insurance agencies, the Guggenheim and Partners Investments in Securities, as well as Group 1001 Insurance Holdings, Delaware Life Insurance Company. Their technology and AI department is Shield AI. They deal in aerospace and defense technology. And then they also have Planeteer Technologies, which is another AI organization that does strategic joint ventures and partnerships focused on financial AI. This group is tied into sports and entertainment. They have Los Angeles Dodgers controlling ownership interest in Major League Baseball. They previously ownership of the Los Angeles Lakers. They had the stakes, but they also own FC Chelsea, I guess, which is English Premier League soccer club, Professional Women's Hockey League, I didn't even know women were playing hockey, but I guess they got a female hockey league out there. These guys got a motorsports. TWG Motorsports has Cadillac Formula One team, uh, Spire Motorsports, Wayne Taylor Racing. So all these organizations and stuff that are tied in with this one guy, Mark Walter, has all been kind of exposed now in this federal investigation, which caused him to have to sell it, right? And so now Disney owns the Los Angeles Lakers, man. What the hell is going on with that? Hey, what's up, man? What y'all got going on here? Bruce 504, man. What do you guys think of this stuff I just read off about this this group here, man? Disney being the owners of the Los Angeles Lakers, man. That's crazy. My favorite show of all time. Holy shit, the Dave Ramsey on the wall. Dave, nah, yeah, that guy taught me a little bit, right? He taught me a little bit of financial shit, man. Favorite show right now, man. I gotta say, Rick and Morty, man. Rick and Morty is killing it. They dropped a new season, and still in the middle of it, right? So I'm loving that, man. Loving that. I'm not loving the fact that Disney bought the Los Angeles Lakers, though, man. I wonder what is the mouse going to do with the Los Angeles Lakers now that, I mean, they own the Angels, right? I guess so. I guess it's just add another organization to the Disney list, right? So does this mean that the Los Angeles Lakers are now going to have a spot on Disney Plus, ESPN? Like every game, it's going to automatically be tied into Disney, and if you have Disney Plus, you get to now watch every Laker game automatically. Like that'd be intriguing, right? Like I have Disney Plus. It would be nice to be able to watch all the Laker games, being a Laker fan, right? Considering I hardly watch any because of the streaming services, right? I'm a Disney Plus, right? So I got ESPN, but there's hardly any Laker games and basketball games on ESPN. So that's lame, you know. The WNBA, man. I wanted to get on here and talk about the WNBA because I got some videos and stuff of the lady coach, man, for the Indiana Fever. Man, she's kind of in the hot seat right now, man. Like I saw her interview that she gave after the foul happened, right? Because if you guys watch any of the WNBA by any chance, you guys, or even watch sports at all, right, you might have heard of this name, Dijonai Carrington. She plays for the Sky. This is the WNBA team. She whacked another lady named Sophie Cunningham in the head on a very hard foul, flagrant 2 foul. And it was very unnecessary in a lot of people's eyes. A lot of people were very offended and took to social media. Primarily, I noticed they did it because of the comments that she made afterwards, right? When she, that being a DJ Carrington, right? That's her. She goes by DJ. When she made her comment on social media, is talking about white privilege and whatnot, man. And so I did some backgrounds to find out, what she meant by that a little bit. But to get it started off, I just wanted to say that Dijonai Carrington, for what she did, right? Like she's playing like she was playing back in the 90s. Like she reminds me of a Dennis Rodman. And sometimes you need that person to come out there and get aggressive. But sometimes when you're doing flagrants and whatnot, it's like, all right, there are lines that could be crossed now. And it's not the 90s anymore, right? It's like in 2026, people seem to be a little bit more protected. Yeah, that's the word I want to use. There's a lot more protection, right? So a lot of people are out there saying that this girl, she lost sponsors, that Dijonai Carrington has lost her Reebok deal, and that's not true. Some people are saying she's fired. She is not fired. All these things have been discredited. You just got to go to Google and look on Google to get the real answers. But DJ Carrington, flagrant 2, fouled out, got her ejected in the game against the Fever. It's her second flagrant foul, with following through with an attempt to the back of the head, right? So she whacked Sophie in the head. Sophie started bleeding a little bit. The ref deemed it a flagrant 2. DJ gets ejected, immediately goes to social media and claims white privilege, right? And so this is where I get confused, because Caitlin Clark right now is battling against her 8th flagrant foul. And, right, so she's almost on the verge of missing the rest of the season, because I guess if you get 8 flagrant fouls, you're out of there, right? So Caitlin Clark is on the verge, right? So much so that a lot of people are starting to discredit some of the fouls that she's been getting and bringing a lot of heat on the referees. And rightly so. It's being a lot is being brought to light, right? Like the referees for the WNBA are kind of calling it a little bit stricter for some people than others. But I found it interesting because for Dijonai Carrington to be playing for 5 years, because she's been playing 5 years now in the WNBA, she's only had like 6 flagrant fouls. So like over the course of 5 years, she's only had 6 flagrant fouls. So she's not like this great aggressive person that's just like beating people down, every single chance she gets. But she does kind of have a reputation of going a little bit too far, right? But I would just, you know, think back to her training days, right? Like who was training her? Was she just balling in the streets? Because that's a street balling move, right? And you get angry and just come down with an arm like that unnecessarily, right? You got frustrated, and she got frustrated. But the white privilege part, I totally don't understand or agree with at all. Like, come on. I'm not going to get into the semantics of it all, the color of her hair and all that shit, like blah, blah, blah. The fact of the matter is Caitlin Clark is Caucasian, and she is right on the line of being kicked out for the rest of the season because she got 8 flagrant fouls in this year alone. Right, so Caitlin Clark has gotten more flagrant fouls than this girl Dijonai Carrington in 5 times as fast as she did. Right, so I mean, come on, if anybody's getting privilege, it's not this poor Caucasian girl, Caitlin Clark, or any of her teammates either, man. But that aside, the coach has been taking a lot of heat, and the ladies are backing their coach. And so I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to let them talk about it, and I got them clipped up here. So first off, after the game, right, I was shocked because it hit media and it started trending right away. And as soon as the WNBA started trending with Dijonai Carrington whacking Sophie Cunningham in the head, the next thing that went out was the coach's response, right? So I got the coach's response to the hit after Dijonai whacked Sophie in the head. This is what the coach said.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that Dijonay intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did, but it did happen, and I
Like,
thought it was
comment,
the
and
right call.
subscribe.
But one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup, and so I don't oppose the hard foul, but I also don't think that she intentionally went for the neck.
All right, and then if you look at she's surrounded by Caitlin. The video will be up in the edited video later on. But next to her, you got Caitlin Clark and another lady, and the looks on their faces after they heard their coach kind of stand up and defend the player who just assaulted. And a lot of people are using the word assault, who assaulted their other teammate. Right, the coach is defending the person who attacked, not the person who was attacked. Right, so she took a lot of heat for that, and a lot of people were calling her out. Uh, but apparently, not everybody knows the story, right? I guess that she does stand up for her teammates, and her teammates got her back, but she got flustered, and she got on an interview, and she just decided to go off, right? And she said all this stuff, and it kind of triggered me at the end because she said this shit like she's this and this and that and that, and then her ending comment that I'm sure you guys might have heard was kind of like everything you said for the last 2.5 minutes got thrown out the window, right? So here, you guys tell me what you think.
No, I'm going to start today. This isn't
I'm gonna
necessary.
stop it right there. Just the way she starts off that whole entire conversation right there, I'm already turned off and negative against her just because of the tone and attitude in her voice. It's like you lost all sympathy from me, just like that, right? So anyway, I'll play it back. Here we go.
I'm going to start today. This isn't necessarily for those people that are in this room. This is more for an online community that's trying to create narratives that simply don't exist. Trying to create a fabrication or distortion of who I am, of what I'm about. Our players' success, our players' health and wellness, our players' safety is always a top priority for me. One of the things I pride myself on is my
Thanks for
relationships with
watching.
players.
Like, comment, and
For those
subscribe.
who have anything to say about the play in the last game, I didn't see the play in real time. I went straight to a press conference. I thought the play got called right. Thankfully, Sophie's okay. Was it egregious? Absolutely. When you have a chance to watch that over and over and over.
All right, so I gotta say, like right here, she's getting me a little bit, right? Like I'm like, all right, I'm feeling you. You're defending your teammate. You're kind of like passionate about what you're saying. You kind of got me. You're building me back a little bit. You started off really hard, but I'm listening to you, right? And you're kind of drawing me back a little bit. You seeming like you're humble, but you still kind of seem stiff. But you seem like you're trying to be humble, but right. So
Over on
I'm
replay,
feeling this a little bit,
you can
right?
see
Like,
that. I didn't have that in real time.
and then she starts getting angry.
I take personally Any
Right.
suggestions
Right.
that I
She
don't
you see
100%.
you hear how she cut off the reporter right there, and the reporter was even like, "Oh wow, sorry." Like he had to stop her saying, "It's like, oh shit, sorry," and so she continues. Right. She just got angry real quick out of nowhere.
Always have my players back. I ride with them 10 toes down all the time. All the time. They know that. It's a shame that we can't have an opportunity to talk about what great basketball they're playing. Because they are playing.
Very emotional, passionate.
The reality is, with me, I will always lead with love.
Okay.
I will always lead with grace. I will always lead with humility. And I will always lead with integrity. Doesn't mean I'll always get it right. I'm also human. The hate, the fear-mongering, the divisiveness, the stuff that's trying to hijack our league will not win.
I'm sorry.
It won't win. We are united. We are connected. We will not be divided. Every day these women put their on the line. Every day.
Okay, so she's passionate, right? Like, okay, I can kind of forgive her, right? She's fired up. She's feeling it, right? She's feeling it. She's really feeling the emotions, right? And it sounds like she's so convicting, right?
When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win.
Remember those words.
I stand by them. I will always stand by them.
Always.
Everybody else can go to hell.
Everybody else could go to hell. Okay, so I understand you defending your team, right? Everything I just listened to for like the last 2 minutes, you just threw out the window by telling me to go to hell, man. You stupid lady, right? I don't mean to call her stupid. She's not stupid, right? Like this coach, Coach White, she's trying her best, right? She's in the spotlight, and I don't want to bring disrespect on the W and the coaches. She's in the spotlight. There's a lot of pressure. I understand the pressure, right? Like you have social media. You have folks like me on here who are nobodies, and we're talking trash. We're pointing stuff out. We're evaluating you and your performance because you're in the public light, right? Like, and in my opinion, you dropped the ball there. You failed, right? You got too passionate and you lost control. But it's very interesting to see how your team still backed you, coach, even though you weren't as passionate like you were there for defending your own player in Sophie Cunningham, right? When she got whacked in the head by Dijonai Carrington, and even over the last 2 days of getting heat, the players still had their back. This is what Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham had to say after their coach made that comment and did this press conference and got called out, and after their coach not even standing up for Sophie Cunningham that much when the attack happened, this is what they said for their coach, right?
I think there's just been a lot of outside noise, but our locker room is good, and that's what it is to be an Indiana Fever on the staff.
Ooh, I lost everybody
as a
on
player that when you come here, that's going to be one of the things that's going to try to distract you.
We're going to play it, though. Listening to the girls stick up for their coach right now, even though their coach doesn't stick up for them.
At the end of the day, she didn't see the clip, and you know what, Dijonai, she is a hell of a player. She's a great defender, and so she coached her for I don't know how many years up in Connecticut. So give her flowers, and she didn't see it, and that's okay. Me and Steph are great. Steph is great with all of us, and so it's really the outside noise that's trying to distract us, but we're good.
Just because
they are good.
Did you feel like there was more outside noise after that game?
You know what? I really don't care. I really don't care anymore. I'm trying to keep the main thing the main thing. I think we played an excellent game today against the Fever, against the Liberty. We
played ourselves.
Yeah.
Nice, Sophie.
So there you have it, right? They're joking around. They're lighthearted. They're together. She had her coach's back. Stood up there and she had her coach's back, and that's dope. I respect her for that. And then Dijonai, hopefully she does not lose those deals, because a lot of people are out there talking about she lost deals. I almost believed it when they said Dijonai Carrington lost that Reebok deal. Like I almost believed it, and I almost posted something about it. But I was like, you know what? Let me just Google search this and find out real quick, and found out that shit is not true. It's not true. So I got a quick review on here because I like wrestling. I'm gonna do a little wrestling review of what I saw on the wrestling programs this week. You guys can stick around, like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you heard so far. This is Millennial Nation Worldwide, delivering all types of sports entertainment talk for y'all and for myself, ultimately, as a hobby. So, yeah, Bloodline heavy on Monday Night Raw. I heard Zilla Fatu's over there on NXT right now. That's interesting. Gonna see what he does. There's a lot of the Samoan bloodline around everywhere, man. It's can't get away from the Samoan bloodline on Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso and Solo, they're starting it out. You know, there's a lucha tournament. The winner of the lucha tournament goes and fights against Roman Reigns at a AAA event, apparently. Uh, you know, I gotta say the promo that Jay and Solo had was funny. You know, Solo's he is coming into his own. I laughed a little bit, and when he did the pew with the gun, right? He's making fun at Jey Uso taking shots, right? Asking if the crowd anybody was shot. That was pretty funny. But so yeah, this little tournament that they're having with the Luchas is interesting. It's a good little crossover for the AAA promotion down there in Mexico. Penta is going against somebody and he won. I don't know most of the luchadors' names. Psycho Clown is going against a La Parca. And then there's like a Dragon Lee versus Dr. Wagner Jr., Ray Phoenix, and El Fiscal. Will all be going and competing in this tournament for a chance to fight against Roman Reigns, where Roman Reigns will ultimately destroy whoever wins. You know, it's a matter of how long will it take Roman Reigns to defeat one of the best luchadors, right? The Vision comes out, call people losers. They got this thing happening with Braun Breaker and Obafemi right now in WWE, and I'm feeling it. Like, I'm feeling the heat between these young studs who are out here trying to like say, I'm running this division now, right? I don't know who to go for, man. I'm torn, man. I feel like I back Braun more than Oba on this one, only because he's been around longer. He's more of a vet. So I want to see where they go with that. Probably WrestleMania, I'd imagine. That'd be the best place for them to go. The crowd got really loud, man. You know, they're getting really loud with Braun Breaker and Obafemi. That was probably the highlights, though, of the Raw, was just mostly talking, right? I did want to point out for the WWE, man, what's up with them DoorDash commercials, man? Like, I don't understand them. They're confusing and they seem somewhat disrespectful to the people that are in them. Like, is it me or do they seem a little bit demeaning when they got someone splatting an egg over someone and it looks like something else is on someone's back, right? Or I saw when they had somebody's family in the audience and they got some imaginary shake thrown on them from the DoorDash, or it's just, it looks weird. WWE, what are you doing with this promotion, man? Are you psychologically trying to do something and subliminally send messages? Because the shit looks weird. And I would suggest for you guys to change that promo with DoorDash, because that shit's weirding me out, man. Becky Lynch versus Stephanie Vaquera, their promo is good. It's going to be interesting to see them fight. Triple threat match. Dominic Mysterio and Dragon Lee, that wasn't that interesting at all. Judgment Day ladies come out, right? Roxanne and Raquel, they have a fight. Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa had the main event fight. And that was like the gist of your Monday Night Raw. Nothing great, nothing special to write home about. I watched the AEW Dynamite this week as well to contrast it, right? So this one is kind of the same, but a little bit different. This one is more wrestling matches, less talking. They started off with a promo as well, though. Their star, Will Ospreay, calls out their other star, Kenny Omega. Right? It's kind of the same exact thing. So the match starting off, though, that was the greatest match of the night and this week, I think, was the MJF match. Because MJF went out there in a triple threat match with two nobodies and made these nobodies look pretty entertaining for about 10 minutes, right? And that's how good this guy is. He could do that. I'm not going to play the clip, man. But the clip was hilarious when he's sitting there coaching the guy, telling the guy what to do, and then he turns around and tries to steal the pin like that. That won me over. Like, all right, they got it, right? And they had a whole bunch of other stuff on the show, but nothing else on AEW topped that particular moment in that match, right? And that was like a nothing match for what it was. It got turned into something because that's how damn good MJF is, right? And that's just what it is. Mick Foley was talking with the people in the back with the Bang Bang Gang or whatever. And then they had a match with Finley versus Jay White, and that was a good match. Had a good back and forth match, lasted a little bit. It was entertaining. More importantly, the guys were evenly matched size-wise. That's what I like to see the most, is when the people are the same size fighting each other, right? It seems more realistic when that happens. And these guys, it seemed like a real straight-up fight between guys who knew each other. Constant reversal, spin, turn around, another reversal. So that was a good fight. So it was like they had like 3 or 4 good fights on this show. Whole bunch of guys stood around after that, though, talked. Adam Page, Ricochet, Swerve Strickland, and a whole bunch of other guys. stood around and talked on the AEW Dynamite this week, and I thought it was like, all right, cool. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, man? I thought it was kind of like a lot of talking, no real action. I would have liked to see more action, right? And everybody's in trios, but nobody has an exact trios team. It's weird how they got that happening. So I just wrote it as a whole bunch of guys, right? A whole bunch of guys stood around, and three people talked. Ricochet, Swerve Strickland, and Adam Page, right? Then we move on to Chris Jericho. He had a fight against Kevin Knight for the belt, and they had some weird interactions, but I thought it was kind of interesting because I like seeing Kevin Knight fight, right? So it's cool seeing Kevin Knight get in there with a veteran and last with a veteran. He looked a lot better than Chris Jericho did for sure. KK looking good with that belt, walking down the belt. You know, he looks good with a title around his waist, man. He needs to have title around his waist more often. But that whole spot with the screwdriver, that's getting a lot of heat on the internet right now in the internet wrestling community. The guy tried to act like he stabbed somebody with a screwdriver, but it was like, one, you missed the dude with the screwdriver altogether, and then the dude, he made it look so obvious that the shit is fake, and I'm just like, it upset me. It upset me, and I'm like, the match was going so good. Hey, Cat, stop, chill out, man, chill out on that cat post, man. The match was going so good, right? Like Chris Jericho was trying, Kevin Knight was shining, and then out of nowhere, this old guy comes in with a screwdriver and just tries to intervene, man. He just ruined the whole thing. But I'm not gonna let that take away from Chris Jericho, right? I like seeing Chris Jericho go on this ride that he's on as he's ending his career. He's selling off into the sunset the way he wants to, right? With his cruise coming up and possibly New Day coming out with that, too. It's gonna be interesting to see how he sells away, right? On the rest of the show for AEW, right, they had the girls fight, but I started losing focus, right, and didn't pay attention. I started playing on my phone. Kyle Fletcher or Darby Allin cut a promo. It was whatever. Kyle Fletcher cut a promo. It was whatever. And then Jack Perry fought against Jon Moxley. I'm wearing this shirt because I'm a Jon Moxley fan. I'm talking about Jon Moxley right now because it's the only reason why I would watch a Jack Perry fight. But I do give Jack Perry credit, because he seemed more intense, right? Like towards the end when he was getting the shit beat out of him, it seemed like he was really trying to stand up for himself, even though in his head it seemed like he didn't know what type of wrestling or fighting move to do. He just kind of kept walking up and putting his face in the face of Jon Moxley. But when you see somebody who's very tiny fighting against somebody who's really big, and the really big person doesn't beat the shit out of the really tiny person really fast, it's kind of hard to believe that it's really, happening, right? Because if you got a guy like who's 230, 240 and Jon Moxley or Dean Ambrose, right, going against a dude who's less than I am, right? The dude's got to be like 140, 150, man. I'm pushing 165 at 6 foot, right? Like this guy, Jack Perry, he's like 150 at like 5'10", right? So I'm bigger than this fucking guy, right? So it's like, yeah, it's hard to believe that you're struggling against this dude who's bigger than I am when I'm bigger than you are, and you'd probably be struggling against me, right? And so that's my whole point with that size differential, right? And that's what irks me the most about AEW is the matches that they need to just have a cruiserweight division like they were talking about on what is that, JD from New York on the TNT show that he does. They need to just create a cruiserweight division for AEW and put all these small guys who are cruiserweights in a division and let them just fight each other, man. It would be more entertaining, more high impact, a lot more high impact moves, a lot more flying moves, and it would just be like watching the luchadors on one of the Latino brands, right? But so this week when I put them together and I put Raw against Dynamite, I'm like, well, I'm gonna give it's a tie, right? Because you can't beat the WWE promos. These guys are masters on the microphone, right? So they won in the microphone wars, but I got to give it to AEW because they just had a few more quality matches, So I'm not going to give it a real winner. I'm going to ride the fence on this one, just like in politics, you know what I'm saying? But if I did have to give the edge, I'd say, all right, AEW, they're a little bit better because they're trying harder, right? Like you can see if you watch that product, they're trying to make a decent product that's enticing to the viewers, right? They just struggle with their concepts as opposed to the other brand. They don't give a crap about us at all, right? They're overpricing us on ticket sales for live events. I personally have to have like 4 or 5 different streaming services to watch different shows for the brand because I don't have cable, right? I gave up. I'm a millennial. I don't use cable cords, So they're missing me on the cable, and and I'm not gonna buy all these streaming services just to follow the WWE. It ain't worth it anymore, you know. So, I'm gonna give the little edge to AEW on that one because they're trying harder. So, AEW was a little bit better than WWE Monday Night Raw this week. So, congratulations, I guess. Take it for what it is. Both of the products need a lot of work because I'm on my cell phone way more than I am watching the product and the program until somebody gets on there and starts talking shit on the mic, and I'm like, oh, you got me. Oh, I heard the crowd start cheering really loud. Let me pay attention to what's going on, right? Is kind of where I'm at right now. So that's your wrestling news for you. We had the WNBA controversy with the coaches for the Indiana Fever. Is she for her players? Is she not for her players? We talked about Dijonai Carrington and the foul that she had to Sophie Cunningham. Is it over the line? Is she truly a habitual flagrant fouler when she's only gotten 6 flagrant fouls over a 5-year career, right? Like, you guys decide on that one. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was Stephen A. Smith, because I was listening to Stephen A. and he had some interesting news revolving around the WNBA as well. And that had to do with a couple NBA players who decided that they want to try and apply for the WNBA. You guys might have heard about this. Enes Kanter Freedom. He changed his last name to Freedom. He pulled a Ron Artest and changed his name to like a Meta World Peace, but instead made his last name Freedom. So he wants to go to the WNBA, man. Him and this guy named Royce White, they decided they want to go to the WNBA. NBA players deciding that they want to go to the WNBA. What is the world coming to? Oh my God. I'm going to take this time to like, comment, and subscribe, right? I'm going to listen to Stephen A. Smith right now. We're going to listen to him talk. I'm going to do a little review because he had a special guest on. Stephen A. Smith had a special guest on called Charles Coleman Jr. He's a civil rights dude. He's like a civil rights lawyer. If you go to his IG page, it says, as seen on TV, civil rights dude. They were talking about Enes Kanter and Royce White. NBA players wanting to join the WNBA. They want to go play with the girls. They said that they... I'm going to let them talk about it and explain it because I like what Coleman was saying as far as the legal side, and the seriousness of this. Like, can these 2 NBA players seriously cross over and play in the WNBA? It's intriguing to think about because apparently there's some ambiguity in the contracts for the WNBA in regards to what is a woman and what the standards of a woman is in the WNBA, apparently. Right? It's what allows transgender athletes to enter into the WNBA. It's the fact that there's ambiguity in what is really a woman, what is really defined as a woman, right? And so a couple NBA players, they're trying to exploit this. They're trying to shed light on it, and they're claiming that they're doing it in support of female WNBA players to shine light on it. And so I find it intriguing because for the spotlight being shone on the WNBA and transgender players is one that should be talked about, but I can't tell if this is in a joking manner or if it's in a serious manner, right? Because when I see the interview with Enes Kanter get on there, like, you can tell he's joking around and not being serious, while at the same time trying to take a serious tone and context, right? So I wanted to have these guys talk, right? Stephen A. He's interviewing this guy, and he's giving his opinions on what he thinks really going to happen with the NBA players possibly going into the WNBA. Because everybody wants to joke around about LeBron James, right? What would happen if LeBron James went to the WNBA? That's what everybody wants to know, right? What would happen if LeBron James decided he felt like he was a woman, he was born a woman, and he's going to go to the WNBA now and participate and perform as a woman, right? So this is what the lawyer would say would happen.
Why is it sophomoric trolling on their part as opposed to pointing out the potential hypocrisy of those who have advocated or believe that a trans woman should be allowed to participate in the WNBA?
Well, that's the first thing. The first thing that I would answer your question is the way that you frame the question. So why would we take you seriously when you are 2 people we know are clearly born men? You've previously not done anything in the space of
Some people
advocacy
not
around
interested in
women's
this one
sports
either.
or trans rights. one way or the other.
We're
Whether
gonna
you want
finish
to frame
this
it
one
as
out
we're
anyway,
trying to
though.
protect
It's
women's sports,
important.
or we're trying to advocate.
I understand people leaving and skipping past this part right here because it's kind of a deep situation, but you know, it's what's happening in the NBA and WNBA right now. So we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna not just talk about the comedy side about it, but we're gonna listen to like the actual legal side about it as well.
For trans individuals to be able to play in professional sports leagues. You've not done any work in that regard, but yet you would choose to center yourself in this moment in a rather comical way, I might add, by saying, oh, I'm a woman, I identify as a woman, and so now I'm entering the draft. When again, this could have been a real conversation to say that if, for example, there were trans athletes that you were looking to support, that you felt like should have these opportunities, platforming
comment,
them
and
in a way that
subscribe.
made the case for reconsideration for people who might be opposed to it. So for me, that's why I have to say, like, this is nothing more than actual trolling, because if you were serious and you wanted to be taken seriously, then you would have approached it in a serious manner.
Okay, so that's an interesting point, right? Like, if Inez Cantor and Royce White were very serious about taking a stance for women's rights, right, in defense of women for the WNBA, they would have gone about it in a different sense. They wouldn't have been taking it so lightheartedly, I guess is the best way that I can explain it. So they continue though.
So if the WNBA, let's say for example, they were willing to take it as ridiculously.
This is a Stephen A. Smith show. He's got special guest Charles Coleman on here. I will have the link posted in the video, as well as when I'm finished with this and I do the editing, the link will be in there as well.
Far as you just intimated, and they were declared ineligible for the WNBA draft.
What up,
From
y'all?
a legal perspective, what's the strongest legal argument Enos Cancer Freedom and Royce White could make?
I mean, they would have to try to play some game, a charade of decrying discrimination on in some way, shape, or form, sex discrimination. I mean, I think the problem that they have is the WNBA is insulated in a lot of different ways as a private organization in terms of who it does and does not allow to participate in its sports league. And so
Yeah, so there you have it, right? He's saying pretty much wrapping it all up to try and sum it up. Like, it's different rules, right? The WNBA has the right to decide who gets to play and who doesn't get to play. And so they have the right to shut down these NBA players trying to make the crossover, right? The question is, though, all right, so the NBA players want to cross over and go into the WNBA. And then the WNBA is like, no, we don't want you guys in here. Well, okay, do the NBA players have the right to sue the WNBA for the WNBA saying, nah, we don't want you playing here? And so they go on and talk a little bit more.
NBC legal analyst Charles F. Coleman Jr. right here with Stephen A. on the Stephen A. Smith Show. I want to ask just about the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. How could a court interpret a CBA clause that says only women are eligible, but never defines women? Does that ambiguity favor the league, or does it favor the challenger?
it favors the league because it's the league's rules. And so the league's interpretation of what a woman is
What's up, kitty kitty?
are ultimately what governs. You know, as an attorney, what I will say is my feelings individually, for example, Stephen A., or your feelings about trans athletes crossing over and playing into different sports that they may not have been born in an assigned sex to are irrelevant. What's relevant are the facts and the law, and in this case, the process. And the process and the rules, if you will, are set by the WNBA. Now, one thing that we might see, we may see some sort of additional definition being drawn by the WNBA and by other sports leagues, similar to the standards that we see in Olympic competition.
All right, I'm going to move on to the next one because he just kind of drags it out. That's one thing I noticed. Like, this is like a 30-minute interview, right? And a lot of what this guy was doing was dragging it out. This Charles Coleman Jr., right? He would answer the question, but he would also kind of drag out the answer as long as he possibly could. He was just doing kind of like a word salad with a lot of his stuff. Even though he was making his points, he added a lot of extra words, right? So we're going to move on to one of the last segments right here.
They're not trying to support the trans athlete. They're trying to support the females who aren't trans and they believe are being victimized by the potential of having to compete against these folks. They're not trying to support the trans athlete. That's what they will say.
Which is even more of a great point, Stephen A., because now you are trying to you can be pro something without being anti another thing.
That's fair.
and so that's really the problem of where I'm going with this. Like, in framing the conversation, if your concern is truly about being in favor of women's sports and supporting women's sports, you don't have to do it in a way that sort of makes fun of or lambasts trans people to do that. I mean, your opinions on them, your opinions on trans persons playing sports and anything in that realm can become second to establishing standards that.
Okay, so that's about enough. That's all I can take on that one. So this is kind of like an interesting concept. I want to get your guys' opinion on it. You guys let me know what you think, because I'm curious to know what other people think about this. One, is it important to you guys at all? Probably not, because I lost the majority of you viewers as soon as I started talking about this. Weirdly enough, when I post these video edits on YouTube, these clips will probably be the clips that get the least amount of views as well. Because most people don't want to talk about this shit. I don't want to talk about this shit, but I heard about it, so I talked about it real quick, right? NBA players going into the WNBA. You tell me how you feel about it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. One thing I do like, I don't like, it's mixed feelings on, is this show. It comes on Netflix. It's called Black Mirror. This show, Black Mirror, on Netflix, man. You guys heard of it at all? Have you guys heard of this show on Netflix called Black Mirror? It's an interesting show. I've been watching it lately. I've been trying to get into it. I'm at the end of season 3 right now. That shit's weird, man. The Nosedive episode with the star rating. Did you guys see that, man? Hey, I see you. Like, comment, and subscribe. I saw this video, or this show, man, and everything is based off of a star rating, right? And you fit in life wherever you fit in this star rating, right? Obviously, it's a 5-star star rating, right? The system, it allows you to access particular lifestyles the higher your rating is, right? If you got a 4-star, 4.5-star, right? You're getting a first class, right? If you're on a plane. If you got like 3 stars, 3.5 stars, you're probably rolling in coach. If you got like 2.5 stars, you're not even allowed on the plane, right? If you got like 1.5 stars, 1 star, you're not even really allowed in society. It's kind of weird. It's weird because their entire system is developed and broken down on where you rank on a scale of 1 to 5, right? Isn't that life and where we're at right now? Like, where are we at and where are we ranking ourselves, man? As far as star rating, man, people with the rest around 4-star ratings, they're like, oh man, I'm living the good life. I'm getting invited to the fancy parties, right? I'm dining in at the fancy restaurants, getting reservations because I'm a 4.4 star. Right? You want to live that 5-star lifestyle. Nobody was on the 5-star lifestyle, right? I didn't see anybody on the 0-star, but as the lady's life started drifting lower and lower on the star rating, the more her life kind of dwindled into that of what seemed to be a normal person, right? Cursing, drinking, kind of having that nonchalant, I don't care attitude, right? That FAFO mentality that everybody has, right? That would put us at like a 1-star. As soon as she hit that 1-star and she was rolling around, I'm like, yep, that's where I would be at, man, according to this society, right? I'm a 1-star. So it's lame too to try and be a 1-star, because like I feel like in society, if you're going to base everybody on a star ratings, that rating should go up to 10 stars, right? Like, why you got to cap it at 5 stars? It's so hard to put everybody in a class when you limit it to only 5 stars. You need 10-star rating to really put it out there to see where you're at, right? Oh man, the storage ran out on the other one. I gotta free up some storage on that one. Free up some storage on that one. I should probably end this anyway. 45 minutes. It's kind of been a long time. I don't know. I'll keep it going a little bit longer. I don't know if I should keep on going with that show though, man. Some of the other programs that I've seen, they're so twisted, man. Those things are so twisted. Like Black Mirror. If you guys were to watch Black Mirror, do you guys get weirded out by it at all? Let me know. You never really realize how much space these videos take up sometimes, man. It's crazy. Yeah, it's like I gotta upload and upload and download to try and get one video out there. No, it did. It killed it too, man. It killed my recording on the other. And this shit's lame, man. Goddamn recordings and space and all that stuff. Anyways, thanks for sticking around. If you stuck around, you can chiming in right now. You just missed us, but still like, comment, and subscribe, and you can be the first one in there next time I do one of these. You missed a lot of stuff, man. We was talking about good stuff. Just to recap it all, we did some WNBA talk. We did some NBA talk. We did some wrestling talk. The biggest news that I got out of all of this, right? The Lakers are sold again, man. I should just get on here and keep on talking about the Lakers because I have no idea what's going to happen with the Lakers now. Like, we have no great stars. We have a roster that's kind of dwindling away, right? We have no all-stars. Our coach isn't particularly great, He's never won a championship. I don't know how hopeful the future is, but if Disney owns the Lakers, that means that the Lakers have probably an unlimited budget now. So we could probably afford to bring in anybody who we decided we want to because we could just give them some of that mouse money. You gotta love the mouse money, man. If anybody's going to ride the mouse for his money, let it be the Los Angeles Lakers, right? You're going to get all that Bob Iger money. Ticket sales just doubled. I wonder if you have a Disney parking pass, if you could park out into it to watch the Lakers play for free now that they're owned by Disney, right? What is those season passes going to look like, right? If you buy a season pass in Disneyland, you get 2 free Laker tickets. Is that a good deal, right? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what Disney gets from buying the Lakers other than saying, oh, yeah, hey, we own the Lakers, right? What do they get? I don't know what they get. Anyways, what is this? 45, 46 minutes. All right. Thanks for all of you guys who tuned in and watched. Appreciate it. Definitely leave some updates for some future videos. Millennial Nation Worldwide, we're going to try and do this again next Thursday, and we'll see if we'll lock in Thursdays as a good day for doing these live videos. Stay on the lookout for the edited version. It'll be a lot better, a lot clearer. I'll have pictures and videos and all that good stuff up. Oh yeah, also quick plug just to end this. My other podcast is called Technically Speaking News. We talk about all different types of trending topics revolving around entertainment, pop culture, hip hop culture, sports, conspiracies, and just, kind of all around millennial topics. It's just a bunch of us millennials talking about millennial stuff, right? So that's Mondays, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, live. This show again, Millennial Nation Worldwide. I'm doing this Thursday, so tune in Thursdays sometime between 7 and 9, and you'll catch me doing this, right? So until next time, what was it I was going to do, man? I was going to try and start watching something. Anyways, okay, peace. See you guys.